This is your gaming weekly news. The Xbox Game Showcase is about 1 month away, and Xbox's Phil Spencer had an interview with The Verge talking about the year of 2025 and all of Xbox's games they put out now and what they have looking into the future. Phil said, quote, "For us and the rest of the calendar year, I feel really good about the slate of games. We just had Avowed come out, and I have to go backwards and just say Obsidian continues to do a great job. We've obviously talked about The Outer Worlds 2, South of Midnight, Doom. There's more stuff, some stuff that's unannounced, and I'm walking in my head to make sure I don't leak anything," close quote. Looking at Xbox's pipeline of games for 2025, there are 8 to 12 possible releases that they're going to put out, and even more, up to 15 if you include the games that are coming out on the PlayStation 5 and the upcoming Nintendo Switch 2. But that's the thing, is Phil Spencer here referring to the games that are unannounced that are coming to the Nintendo Switch 2 and the PlayStation 5 sometime by the end of this year? Or is he talking about some other first-party games that could be coming out that'll be revealed at the showcase next month? Let's talk about some of the smaller ideas, because a studio like Double Fine has been very quiet since their 2021 release of Psychonauts 2, and there are rumors that they have a game called Kiln where you play as a purple pot that they've been working on for a while that was supposed to be revealed 2 years ago or even last year, and this year could be the year that Double Fine shows Kiln and has the game ready for release sometime in late summer. Or it could be a big announcement, and one of the big rumored announcements is Gears of War. A few games journalists have sworn that Gears E-Day was supposed to come out sometime in 2025, and it's starting to seem like that's not true, but this Gears trilogy just keeps coming up, and news breaks and insiders are talking about the possibility of some sort of the Gears trilogy making an appearance across Xbox, PC, Nintendo Switch, and even PlayStation 5. But what if it was just this? What if the Gears announcement that we got for Showcase for 2025 was Gears Ultimate Edition, the game we already have access to on PC and Xbox consoles, but the rumor is it's being revamped for a third time in Unreal Engine 5, and this would be the perfect time to unleash this to PlayStation and the Nintendo Switch. But I can't see Xbox announcing a Gears of War title or just announcing one game when there is a trilogy or even 4 Gears of War games that could be fully put into a collection and be ported across all platforms to make Gears of War truly a worldwide international game. Here's what's possible, and I don't know how they would announce this, but what if they announce Gears Ultimate Edition to come to all platforms at the end of this year, and then say they are working on Gears 2, and the next year they'll put out Gears 3, and so on until the collection is complete, allowing the team and support studios that would be working with the coalition to make these ports in Unreal Engine 5 a reality and piecemeal this whole thing across a few years. The other reality is that the Gears trilogy could be a full release. It could be an announcement that we get all 3 of the games, Gears 1, 2, and 3, in Unreal Engine 5, coming out to all those platforms. But I think at the very least there's something Gears related, because I don't think Gears E-Day is going to make 2025. Xbox has over 25 studios, and one of them could have some unannounced game ready to be revealed and released in 2025. But I think the reality is that it could be maybe another remaster. With the 25 plus studios, some of them are working on more than 2 games, and there is just a ton for them to reveal, show, and get ready to release. Last week we talked about Outer Worlds 2, and IGN has an exclusive deal for IGN First to show gameplay, talk to the developers, and explain the mechanics of what we can expect from Outer Worlds 2 when it releases at the end of 2025. And last week we talked about the presentation of an over 8-minute gameplay trailer that Obsidian Entertainment provided to IGN that I thought was very underwhelming, had massive screen tearing, and just wasn't a good representation of what the game will look and feel like. This week changed a lot of that as they showed a whole new location, all rendered with flyovers in Unreal Engine 5, and Outer Worlds is starting to really shape up to look like an amazing and fantastic game. And I'm starting to see some of the vibes and some of the feel of landscapes that they put into Avowed. And if you've played Avowed, especially if you really dug into Avowed, you know it's really a beautiful game. And some of that is spilling over into the organic landscapes of rocks, caves and crystals that are shown in Outer Worlds 2, and this really impressed me. IGN showed this footage, which I'm giving to you, completely cut down to just all of the brand new footage that comes out to be about 3.5 minutes. You can see this flyover of the Golden Ridge. And the developers talked about how they made the world bigger, and they made the world bigger and better at the same time, with more points of interest and things you can see along the landscape horizon line to go out and find. And there will be quests and different collectibles, things like the tossball cards that actually mean something for your character. They've also overhauled the character perk system with over 90 different perks that are all specific to different builds. And they said you can build a jack of all trades character, but if you really specialize your RPG build, they've got some really cool things that'll make it worthwhile to go out and get more XP. The world looks fantastic in this video, and just as they're getting into the middle of their coverage for Outer Worlds 2, I'm starting to get super excited because I did have complaints last week, but I already know that Outer Worlds is going to be a great game. I love the first one, and the sequel looks even better. I can't wait for them to dive into more gunplay because that's the least of what they've shown outside of the original gameplay trailer at the Xbox Developer Direct. The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion Remastered is so real that it's actually starting to leak images and a release date. Virtual Studio, the team behind this remaster in Unreal Engine 5, accidentally leaked official screenshots of the game showing comparisons between the original 2006 game and what they have built now. We talked last week about how they are draping over Unreal Engine 5 assets, but now we're seeing they've actually improved models even further than I expected. With advanced lighting, volumetric lighting, and alpha effects, and even some of the character models like the Spriggan were completely upgraded to give this game a totally modern feel. And looking at these low resolution screenshots, I can actually tell that Oblivion is starting to look like a 2020s game. Of course, under the hood, the feel of the combat will probably still feel like a 20-year-old game, but it definitely looks way more modernized and looks like a really worthy and worthwhile remaster. And they're calling it Oblivion Remastered when I kind of think it's starting to look like an official remake. I know everyone is incredulous about the actual validity of these leaks and the actual release date or announcement that is supposed to come. And the last we heard from Nate the Hate or other insiders was that the week of April 21st or on the day of April 21st, they'll have the reveal and just completely shadow drop this. And a lot of people are wondering why they would shadow drop such a big game, one of the most beloved Elder Scrolls titles, a full remake or a remaster game like this, and just shadow drop it right next to Claire Obscure Expedition 33. And instead of just waiting for this game to come out later when it had more time, I think that everybody knows games need to set their release date sooner rather than later because of Grand Theft Auto 6's eventual release sometime in the early fall of 2025. I was originally wondering that maybe they wanted to shadow drop Oblivion because they thought, oh, it's just a remaster. We don't want to make a big deal about it in case nobody buys it or plays it. But I think people are really starting to get energized about doing a full playthrough. And for me, I've never done a full playthrough of Oblivion, and it looks like I've got a really great looking version of this game to dig my hands into. Xbox just dropped a brand new Doom the Dark Ages 2-set controller and a Xbox Series X console wrap, and they immediately put this thing on sale and have already got them shipped out a day after orders went up. And the Doom regular controller, the green one, is already sold out across all of the Microsoft stores in the US. And they're planning to bring these products to other storefronts like Best Buy, Amazon, etc. But right now they're a hot commodity. And Xbox has continually proven that they've got the best teams to make really cool looking themed controllers. And these console wraps, this one's not my favorite. I don't know. I really like the Starfield one. I still have it on my Series X. But this is something Xbox should be doing with almost all of their IPs when they put out a game. I think they should get a team on this, say, hey, let's make a custom controller. Let's make these console wraps because they're about $25. And let's just get these things on the store because Xbox is going to have 6 to 8 games every single year from now on that are going to PlayStation and Xbox and PC. And then it makes me wonder, Why don't they make this Doom controller in the DualSense 5? It would stand to reason that sucker would sell over 2 times as many as the Xbox controller because there's 2 times as many PlayStation owners out there. I can't wait to play Doom the Dark Ages, and I'm looking at the calendar and trying to figure out when we'll get access to that and if I'll be able to review that early. It looks like it won't be long until I get into that shield saw and all of the new weaponry. I can't wait to see everything that Doom the Dark Ages has on offer. And let me know, did you order one of these controllers? Fallout 3 Remaster is still on the books. And I was talking earlier about Phil Spencer trying not to leak some of the things they have planned to announce at the Game Showcase this year. And I've got full coverage about the Fallout 3 Remaster. Because it doesn't end there. There's also talks about a Fallout spin-off games in the pipeline to cover the long wait for Fallout 5. Todd Howard's Fallout team is on hold and fans are craving a new entry in the series outside of Fallout 76 and the 10-year-old Fallout 4. And with the new Creation Engine 2.0 powering Starfield, the bones of a great Fallout RPG are there. And talks are ongoing with Bethesda Studios to collaborate on a brand new Fallout game. Fallout 5 is some 5 to 6 years away, a true next-generation sequel after Bethesda launches Elder Scrolls 6 in 2028. Xbox is working with Obsidian Entertainment to create a New Vegas-like spin-off of Fallout 4. The 2015 Creation Engine for Fallout is arguably great-looking for a 2010s game, but it shows its age and limitations across Fallout 76. The level of fidelity, lighting model, and detailed rendering of Starfield's graphics would translate beautifully to a Fallout spin-off. But there are limitations and concerns if Obsidian chooses the Creation Engine for a modern Fallout game. Loading screen segments that are compartmentalized interiors and locations, which breaks immersion, and the many quirks and features of Creation Engine 2.0 that makes games like Starfield possible could also limit Obsidian Entertainment, as well as adding extra development time as they get used to Creation Engine 2.0. Right now, Obsidian Entertainment has been working on Unreal Engine 5 with Avowed and the upcoming Outer Worlds 2. And with their team of almost 300 developers familiar with UE5, they could definitely opt to build a Fallout spin-off game around the structure of Unreal Engine while still retaining the core mechanics of loot, combat, survival, dialogue, and leveling your character. Fans have been begging Obsidian to create a Fallout New Vegas 2, and there's already a Fallout 4 New Vegas mod being built for PC by a modding community painstakingly recreating New Vegas in the 2015 Fallout 4 engine. Obsidian has been pleading with Bethesda to get the rights to take the Fallout reins and even has said many times that no, they are not working on Fallout New Vegas 2. And with Bethesda tied for over 10 years now, someone has to take the mantle of Fallout. Todd Howard has recently stated that he is open to allowing co-partnership with a studio to create a Fallout experience outside of the TV show, and Xbox might be bringing in an ultimate expert to revitalize Fallout, and that is the original co-founder of Interplay Studio, Tim Kaine. He created Fallout back in 1997. Tim has been consulting with Obsidian Entertainment and other game studios, and has publicly expressed that he wants to work with the Fallout franchise, even partnering with Obsidian Entertainment if Todd Howard would give his blessing. Tim's YouTube channel covers video game development and stories of Fallout's development process and his long-standing business relationship with Fergus Urquhart, the lead at Obsidian Entertainment. It's all but one signature away from the most dynamic and epic collaboration of Fallout DNA, the very formula to bring the greatness of Fallout back. At the end of 2025, Obsidian will have launched Avowed in Outer Worlds 2, and a recent LinkedIn post from an Obsidian developer stated that they are working on a brand new project. Insiders have begun talking about the collaboration of Obsidian and a Fallout spin-off for the past couple of years, and it looks like it's very possible that Fallout could start production as soon as 2025 or 2026. If you can't wait a few more years for Fallout, trusted insider Nate the Hate reassures fans that the leaked 22 detail for a Fallout 3 remaster is still on course from Bethesda. If you're on Xbox or PC, you're already getting the best possible version of Fallout 3 at 4K 60, but this version barely holds up with 15-year-old graphics on a very aging iteration of Creation Engine. Of course, a lot of people are going to deny that the Fallout 3 remaster exists, just as they have with the Oblivion Remaster, which is all but officially leaked, and by the time you're watching this video, it could be already announced. Rumors of a full Fallout 3 remake seem highly plausible since the recent Oblivion Remastered reveal. Fallout 3 is one of the most beloved in the franchise, and its aging graphics and brown and green overtones have not made it any easier to revisit this game from 2008. With the idea that Obsidian could make their own Fallout spin-off game in Unreal Engine 5, and the recent Oblivion Remastered Edition being built in Unreal Engine 5, Fallout 3 could look and feel incredible in a modern game engine while still retaining the charm and organic RPG exploration that Bethesda developed. Imagine Fallout 3 fully remastered for that 7th playthrough or playing it for the first time. The Capital Wasteland is a massive, sprawling, seamless map full of burnt-out trees and destroyed buildings that, even for its time, was simplified in its visual presentation to optimize across 20-year-old consoles. Whichever studio is responsible for this Fallout 3 remaster would be doing an Unreal Engine wrap of visual graphics, assets, 3D models, and upgraded textures and details over an already award-winning structure. Of course, if you're into PC gaming, you can mod and make Fallout 3 look more realistic or more modern, and spending a few hours of cultivating mods and getting them to work together isn't for everyone, and especially it's not available on console. And even the most heavily modded versions of Fallout 3 on PC still don't look like they belong anywhere in the 2020s. And it's not just PC and Xbox. In fact, Fallout 3 Remaster would be the return of the game to a PlayStation console for the first time since it was left on the PS3 in 2013. So on top of upgraded, modernized graphics, Fallout 3 Remastered would probably bring all the DLC, giving us the Game of the Year edition with the Anchorage, Point Lookout, and all of the rest of the beloved DLC. This should give literally hundreds of hours of content for returning Fallout fans. It's also possible that Fallout 3 Remastered will be available for the Nintendo Switch too. This would bring the game back to hundreds of thousands of console gamers that have not had access to the game in over 10 years. But when would Fallout 3 Remastered release? The original leak from 2022 didn't surface until the end of 2023, and with Nate the Hate claiming that the Fallout 3 Remaster is years away, with Bethesda partnering with a support studio to remaster the game, we could see Fallout 3 Remaster as early as 2027 or 2028, which puts it possibly a year or so before Obsidian could create a Fallout spin-off game, which could bridge the gap between the eventual Fallout 5 reveal sometime around 2030. Fallout is one of the most enduring and long-standing open-world RPGs, and with the success of the franchise spanning across multiple mediums, and the wait for Bethesda's Fallout 5 needs to be satiated with additional content from the studios outside of Todd Howard's team. If Fallout 3 Remastered could come out in about 2 years, with Obsidian Entertainment's making of their own Fallout spin-off directly after that, the wait for Fallout is still long, but hopefully there's enough wasteland for us to discover in the meantime. And that's your gaming weekly news. This is Colteastwood. Thank you so much for checking out this video. And if you made it this far, thank you so much for checking out the Fallout 3 and spin-off segment that was included in a video I did just a couple of days ago. Thank you for all of your support. It's been really fun to break down a lot of the news that's been coming out, and there's been a lot of changes and so much to get excited about. And I've been playing more games than ever before, and 2025 is just crazy. And then when you think about everything that's waiting to 26, I don't even know how we're going to play it all. If you ended up enjoying this video, let me know by liking and subscribing to the channel. Hit the bell to be notified of new weekly content. If you want to further support what we're doing here on the Colteastwood channel to keep the beautiful, glowing, colorful lights on and keep more content coming to you every single week, you can do that by hitting the join button below, or you can subscribe and check out the Patreon. The Patreon gets you early access to videos, just like the membership does, and also gets you monthly merch giveaways, so much more with the xCloud. Check that out. Also, I have the super class if you want to learn how to do lighting, production, thumbnails, video editing, everything. I've been doing this stuff for over 20 years, so I've got the super class there if you want to check it out in the tiers. Also, the XNC podcast runs every Monday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. Middle-aged Game Guy and I will break down all of the news. We'll talk more about the showcase and what's possibly coming. And thank you for checking that out. It's live on YouTube and also on demand on Spotify and Google Podcasts. And you can listen to that whenever you want while you go out and mow your lawn. Because if you're in the U.S., it's spring. Get out there and get stuff done. All right. Thank you so much. Let me know what you thought of this week's news, which one surprised you, what you enjoyed the most. And while you do that, as I always say, please be nice.